Anyone is here. Mixed feelings about going out the door. Rex, take it easy. No jumping. Take it easy. He's a little better, but you can still see, not really putting all the weight on that rear leg. Are you coming, Steve? Come on. Mid is not coming. All right, let's close the door. We are out the door. Heavy duty. Are your windows covered in condensation this morning like mine? What causes that? Well, let's look at the observations from Plymouth, Massachusetts at midnight, even 3 a.m. The temperature and the dew point were both in the 40s. So that means the glass on the outside of your house was also in the 40s. But then right when the sun came up, the temperature and the dew point jumped into the 50s, close to 60. So all of a sudden you have all that humidity and cold glass. That's why you have condensation on the windows. Happens when you take a shower too in the bathroom. You add heat and humidity. Very wet ground this morning. So we have moisture advection now coming in from the south. We talk about cold air advection much of the week, warm air advection yesterday, last night, this morning, and moisture advection. It just means that those things are moving in. That's what advection means. And we have a multi-pronged, very dynamic storm system developing over us, right over our head. Incredibly challenging forecast. I can still see some blue sky off there to the northwest. Look at the local satellite imagery. Heavy clouds off to the west and from the south. We have systems coming at us from both of those directions. But I want to start with the from it could be worse department. We have that front that went by Monday all the way to Central America. Remember, with the record cold, that front is still down there. On the west side of that front now is Hurricane Norma, Category 2, that's going to go into Mexico. Way out there separate is Tropical Storm Tammy, could be a hurricane near St. Bart's in 24, 36 hours. But I want you to notice the subtropical plume of moisture. I'll close in now to the East Coast, going off of Florida and the Bahamas. A real heavy dose of energy there that is going to ultimately end up missing us to the east. That front that went by Monday went so far away that we're going to miss the real subtropical energy, but that doesn't matter. We still have so much dynamic going on, so instead of getting maybe 5 to 8 inches of rain, some spots are going to end up with 2 to 5 inches of rain because of the, not a 3-stream merger, but a 2-stream merger. One low is going to escape. Here's the surface map late today. Notice 2 lows, kind of one off to the northwest, one off to the southwest, and one due south. That one due, and all around 1,000 millibars. That one due south is the one that's going to escape to the east tomorrow, bringing a heavy slug of moisture and wind and rain into Nova Scotia again. Again, I say that. This is the 6th week in a row we've had one of these threats on a weekend. 6 weeks ago it was Lee. 2 weeks ago, 5 weeks ago it was Ophelia, and so on and so on. Every weekend we've had something going on. And this weekend is a really tough call. Note there's no wind around here right now, but there's a lot of wind up in the sky, and it's coming from the south. Here's the upper level flow, 500 millibars, a real deep trough. And it's bringing that air in from the south. So we have air coming at us from the west and the south, and rains are developing from south to north and western New England. And then a heavier rain's going to come in from west to east. And we have tomorrow 3 dynamics going on. Take it down a notch to 10,000 feet, which is 700 millibars, and talk about the different kinds of lift. The green is the warm air, the blue is the cold air. So we have that ocean-fed air coming into from warm to cold, and that warm rises over the cold. That's one dynamic that causes lift. And then you also have those mountains there. That's another dynamic that causes lift. And then thirdly, you have a broad center of very low pressure right over New England, about tomorrow a 982 or so, 983 right over central New England. That's another cause of lift. So you have just all these tremendous forces causing the air to go up and just wring out all the moisture. So where you get that boundary between the high elevation and also the thermal boundary, that's where the heaviest rain is going to be. Here's the latest Euro guidance for rainfall. Batches of rain coming at us off and on next 48, 60 hours really. And you can see it really adding up, especially in the higher elevations of Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine. And even on top of Mount Washington, most of this is going to be rain. It'll probably change back to snow on Mount Washington sometime Sunday afternoon. If it was one low pressure system we were tracking, we'd probably have a good idea on telling you when and how much rain and wind. Let's go to the wind department now. This is the surface wind. This is off of your pivotalweather.com. This is the Euro analysis. There goes one low escaping to the east. And then tomorrow we have about a 982 right over central New England with hardly any isobars or hardly any wind because it's such a broad area of disjointed low pressure. The air is just rising everywhere. It's not moving laterally, it's moving up, causing very heavy rain to probably shut off in southern New England and keep going north. And then all of a sudden you have a low south of Cape Cod, and then all of a sudden you have a low in the Gulf of Maine that's down below 980 millibars. So yeah, we're going close to a drop of 20 millibars on the central low pressure systems in 24 hours, so it's pretty close to Bombogenesis. And the wind really ramps up tomorrow night across parts of New England, not northern New England, southern New England, especially Massachusetts Bay. And then the low kind of wobbles back. One escapes east and a new one forms west over the Gulf of Maine Sunday afternoon, and another lull in the wind is possible Sunday before picking up again Sunday night with a band of showers and real colder air coming back down into southern New England Sunday night. So in other words, not much wind through Saturday morning. Wind really ramps up tomorrow night, especially in eastern sections, southeastern New England. Lets up a little bit Sunday morning, then picks back up again with more showers late Sunday into early Monday. And then that whole mess escapes to the east. And then where are we? We're on a Monday and a Tuesday with possible frost each morning. And then we end up with a front. We talked about it last several days. It's going to come into southeastern Canada. And now it wants to come a little further south. So look at that, Wednesday into Thursday. Now it looks like the high pressure system in southeastern Canada wants to dominate. And all of a sudden, we're much colder than the earlier forecasts for late next week. And then come along waves on that front. The low that goes across southeastern Canada is weaker and faster. There's another stronger low to the west, but right here in New England, we're on the divide line with chances of mountain snow and lower elevation rain from not a lot of wind, but tending to be north of a warm front here next weekend. So even though it wouldn't classify as the 7th in a row deep northwest Atlantic storm, it would end up in similar results where we get rain and or snow and wind. By the way, that's the Euro. The GFS is about 30 degrees warmer. You know I like the Euro over the GFS. It's late today. I get up in the middle of the night. See what's going on over here? Back to West Augusta, it's like you woke up from a dream. Was that really a dream? Was there really a tall ship anchored there all week long? Yeah. It departed under modern propulsion last night at midnight. I came out and watched her go by. Sad. I'm going to miss you guys, but I know where you're going. You're going south. There's no reason we can't chase you south. And welcome you back again next season. So the last bit of the Lynx, that leaves one boat, Leif and Pia, left in the water. Yesterday, we pulled the Why Not out of the water yesterday. Really interesting sky, defying what I thought was logic with what seemed like further cold air advection clouds, those cumulus that finally evaporated late in the day for warmer air advection clouds. And yes, there was some sun yesterday. There was some sun. It wasn't full sun, but there was some sun, so I got some passive solar. And the cats really enjoyed the sun, or did they, on the porch. Steve was face-to-face with a squirrel. I went to get the squirrel, and he ran out the door. A little of that, and then pulling another boat, calling it another season over there at Bert's Boatyard. Well, first it went from Turn Harbor to Metropolitan to Bert's Boatyard. The mast came down at Metropolitan. Now the Why Not's parked for the winter next to the jet stream at Bert's. Mike Willie, great character, great guy. Safe travels to you, Mike. Sounds like you're going to have a very interesting couple of weeks. And we are going to have a very interesting couple of days here. Calling the play-by-play on this weather. It's going to be changing every 3 to 6 hours. And we'll be watching it. Maybe I'll do a YouTube live when I sense that that cold front's about to come in with a dramatic wind shift and cool down from the north late tomorrow here on the coast. Maybe go chase to Cape Cod too, though. Talk to you. What do you see? Ah, it was a squirrel with a walnut in its mouth. It just missed the video. Darn. See if I can go find him. Steve will try and run out and I have to make noise, so he's probably gone. I saw a squirrel with a walnut in its mouth. And by the way, that's a walnut tree right there. I planted from one of those black walnuts or whatever. And this, there he goes. Gosh darn it. Stop. I'm in my socks. Oh, he's got the squirrel. He's never climbed a tree. Never jumped a wall like that either. So that squirrel's up there. And you're going back in the house. I keep forgetting he knows how to open this door. You can't leave any door partially opened. This cat will get out. Steve looks like he wants to cause some trouble. It is so warm here in the sunroom. Nice to have a couple of minutes of sunshine. Are you behaving, Steve? It looks like you want to cause some mischief. Something I did not have growing up. Somebody comes to the house and takes the rubbish. Good use of our tax dollars, in my opinion. Rubbish and recycling get separated. At least they do here. Where they end up after they leave that truck, who knows? Mitt. Tail tapper. Steve. Loving this part. You gotta clean the windows. Lower sun. You can see the dirty windows better. Ah. I should have walked away playing on the radio, and meanwhile I look out here 2 seconds later. Sure enough, Steve is trying to mix it up. Mitt's ready to play defense. Mitt's the elder. Steve is rambunctious. Steve, be nice. Tell him, Mitt. I'll get you back. Ah, he's gonna fly. You're gonna go into a timeout, young man. You're going into a timeout. This sunroom, by the way, is so much warmer than the rest of the house. Yeah, Mitt goes to the trough a lot. Gotta admit, Mitt could lose a few pounds, but our cats eat whenever they want, and they love to escape. Steve has moved into the shade, although we've some clouds moving in now, and Steve does not seem too interested in what's going on across the street. I am very interested. And looks like we have another invasion. The turkeys cleaning the grubs out of our lawns. And also kind of curious today, if we are getting on the warmer side of the high, warmer air advection clouds generally look like cirrus or altostratus. How come we're still getting cold air advection type instability cumulus clouds developing today? Very curious. Very pretty too. Incidentally, that tree right there on the right with the pine cones next to the cumulus, that is dropping pollen right now. So we have an autumn pine pollinator. Foliage, blue sky, blue water, white cumulus clouds. It's always nautical around here. We're very nautical. So it's gonna be a project going on here. I'm gonna try and make not a video and fast forward. I'm gonna do it on time lapse, so it takes a photograph every 5-7 seconds, something like that. Also got the instability cumulus clouds. Well, that took about an hour longer than we thought it would, because everything does, right? And there he goes. Next stop, Bert's. Into the garage, so to speak. Thank you, guys. Seems like we were just going in. Gorgeous day. A little bit sad, too. End of a season again. On another note, since when does warmer air advection look so unstable? Oh, did I already say that once or twice today? I'm gonna get a different angle to show you the minnows in the water. Oh, maybe not. All right, now I'll go get the minnows. Looks perfect. Can't see the minnows. Darn, there they are. On a little tape. That's why there are still fish. Fish eat fish. And there are a lot of fish eating fish. So the fishing season is not over until we say it's over. Actual size, 2.5 inches maybe. How tight do you pack the boats? Just room enough for me to go through here with my shoulders. And can't go through here with the tripod, so I'm gonna go up, over, down, and around. That tight. All right, total blue sky now. Gorgeous afternoon. And the end of another season. The boats go back into winterization mode. Mike goes to California. And we'll see him again next season. Okay, just past 5, and those are the more traditional warm air advection clouds. Higher, thinner, with a couple of condensation trails. Green dot from the iPhone and the sun. And one more boat out of the water. We almost forgot about this one. The tender. What a coincidence, they're all the same color. How does that happen? Gorgeous evening. That's it for today. Every day, weather and more. And more and more and more and more and more and more. And our last night with Lynx in port for the season. That's it. That's the and more. Gonna miss you guys. 12:20 a.m. October 20, 2023. Tall ship Lynx arrived 8 days ago, Friday the 13th. Pulling out now. Still water for the most part. Very light breeze from the east-northeast under mostly clear sky. Storm clouds on the horizon. there's going to be a pretty good gale, but it's not going to get its act together until about Sunday. So it has a couple days to make it to New Bedford, and I'm assuming that's plenty of time. I'm going to miss it. Miss seeing the tall ship on our horizon here for a week. That was really special. So one last time lapse of the voyage, headed back toward the Atlantic, out of the Fore River through Hingham Bay and the Hull Gut, and won't be able to see it that far, but we get enough light to see her go by the house anyway, one last time for 2023.